We're going to start with Rutgers first. Josh, you're at the end here.
We'll open it up for questions for players first.
I guess for you just walk through the roller coaster of that seventh inning when you guys take the lead and then it's unraveled there in the long time, just kind of navigated all that was going on in that seventh inning.
Yeah, so I mean, this year there's been a lot of ups and downs, so I think we're used to navigating, challenges, and that's something we're used to. So I don't really think we even thought twice about it. It's good to go up, and then we knew we were still in the ball game, so we were really just trying to take it one pitch at a time and keep doing our best to score runs and get the win.
I definitely agree with Ev. It's been a roller coaster year for us, and going up 3 was big for us, and they obviously had a great inning, came back, but we didn't waver, and we knew we had a job to do in the next coming innings, and that's it.
As leaders of the team, what do you guys tell your teammates? How do you guys rally and come back tomorrow so that you bounce back in this tournament?
Like I said, we've been through a lot this year. At this point, there's really nothing we haven't seen, so we just gotta put the jersey on the same way and go about our business and do everything we possibly can to keep the season alive and keep playing.
Absolutely. We're a tough bunch, and it's double elimination. If we're not on a plane going back home, we're going to be out here on the field fighting each and every day, and that starts tomorrow.
Any more questions for the players? You guys good to go? We'll open up for questions, Coach.
Coach, impressions of your starter today. I got a chance to see him a couple weeks ago, and it was a very similar game where he started a little rough. He found his rhythm, and for a freshman to kind of have that mental fortitude to stick in there, that says a lot for his character.
Yeah, he's been pretty good. Like, he started out, the first start was against Campbell, and they're pretty good, and he pitched pretty well. And then he missed a couple weeks because I think it was a little bit different intensity than he was used to, and he got a little sore. And then he came back, and then he pitched, quite effectively. And then about, maybe 6 weeks ago, I just made the decision to throw him on Friday, and then he's been pretty good. He had, 1 week where he didn't have a good start, but today he wasn't sharp early. None of the sliders got called strikes, so they must have all been balls. And then we thought we're off the field, even though he didn't have good command in the first inning, and with the play at first, and I guess there was enough to overturn that, and then he gave up a meatball, and the kid hit it, so into a little bit of a win too. So he hit the ball very well. We also walked a guy in that inning too, and he's one of our guys. He's pitching on Friday because he doesn't walk guys, So then he kind of gutted through another couple innings that were a little bit rocky, and then he kind of showed, what he is, and he really pitched well. Started to land all of his pitches, and located his fastball better, and that's he's had some 7 or 8 inning outings this year where he's really good. So he's an exciting young guy. To handle that atmosphere and a bad start with things going not your way, and then to come back, and then he left the game, with his team winning. So pretty impressed with him.
overall impressions of the team and what's the message with a quick turnaround going into tomorrow morning's game?
I mean, it's, you know, we stayed here till Sunday night last year. So, you know, we've played, you know, 55 games, so they'll be ready to play, and you know, that was a tough one because it didn't go well. Then we came back, and then, you know, we went to a couple bullpen guys who have done a good job for us. That's why they were in that situation, and the game turned really quick. And then we walk guys, you know. So a little bit disappointing. It's tough to lose that way. I'd rather lose with a bunch of hits than I would, you know, free passes. And that's tough for the team. But we played airless defense. And we created scoring opportunities almost in every inning. We had some big hits, and even when we lost the lead, you know, we still came back, scored a run. That ball bounces over the third baseman. It's a one-run game with a guy on second. Instead, they made a really good play and turned a double play on it. So, you know, we still kept playing, and we'll play tomorrow.
And starter tomorrow?
On our starter?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got, you know, Drew Conover. He's been, you know, he's been awesome for us at times, and then okay at times, and then no good at times, you know. But he's got electric arm and good stuff, and Michigan State's a good hitting team. You know, they have good depth to their lineup and athletic players and a lot of speed, so it'll be very challenging. Hopefully, you know, Drew controls the beginning of the game. And then offensively, you know, I mean, you know, scoring 7 runs I thought was enough to win the game today, but it turned out not being enough. So, you know, tomorrow, I don't know, it could be 2-1 and it could be 11-10. You know, we're just going to do everything we can to try to be on the right side of it.
Any other questions, Coach?
All right, thanks, guys.
This is your name, Gabe, and that is your name, Charlie. See?
Questions for Charlie and Gabe?
Charlie, can you maybe just walk us through your home run in the first, what looked like the game was over, and then things kind of quickly from there, kind of what did you see on your swing too?
Yeah, I knew I got it well. Obviously, it's great that it went out, but at the end of the day, I was just trying to have a team at bat, just pass it to Josh behind me and keep the thing going. If we can get anything going with 2 outs, especially in the first inning, to get the boys going, it's really all that matters. So, obviously, we'll take the 3 runs, but as long as I had a team at bat, that was kind of the biggest thing there.
Gabe, how about on yours? Can you kind of walk through what the message was in the dugout from the team before that inning, down 3 runs heading into the bottom of the 7th?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got to be a little fired up. You got to be a little motivated to come back in the game. And our guys did a great job of doing team at-bats. I mean, we had a lot of HBPs and walks that set up a lot of big innings for us. So, I mean, put it for the other guys. I mean, they'd set up a lot of innings that we were able to execute on.
I guess for either one of you guys, I know there was a lot of talk about how like, you guys can win without playing a perfect game. And it seemed like this was not obviously a perfect game for you guys, but you were able to get it done. And what went into that from a mentality standpoint?
You want me to take it? I'll take it. I think the biggest thing, like you said, is knowing we don't have to play perfectly. Coach preaches it all the time. We got a great group of guys, talent-wise, but also we're very close. So just knowing that every day, as long as we go in and compete and lay it on the line for each other, I think that's the biggest thing. And at the end of the day, perfect or not, just knowing that we can win games without doing everything correctly. So also knowing that at the end of the day, if we don't do everything correctly, we still have a chance to win, just in the sense of bouncing back, picking each other up. There were some tough innings, whether it was not punching home runs or on the bump as well, but just knowing that you got each other's back was the biggest thing today, and knowing that we still can win that game even when we went down.
Any more questions for Tony?
Gabe, how important was it to start this thing off with a win here?
I mean, obviously it's important. I mean, in order to get far in the tournament, you got to win. I mean, winning early is very important because then you can't. Oh God, that's bad. That's really bad. But
It's all right. Hey, good. Hey, deep breath.
yeah. I mean, you have 2 losses and you're done. So I mean, winning every game, no matter what. I mean, okay. The first team that loses never makes it far in the tournament. So I mean, obviously winning the first game was really important for us today.
Any more questions for the players? Awesome, thank you guys. Now we'll open it up,
I was like,
for questions
kept
for the pool.
repeating.
Coach, that pretty emotional game, and playing in this stadium with this crowd. I mean, just can you speak to that energy level, that extra energy that brought to your team?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, what more can you say about our fans? I mean, the Husker fans that showed up in big numbers. We got a game. It's hot. It's 85 degrees out here, and middle of the day at 2 o'clock. And what a just a jolt of energy for our players. They were rowdy from the get-go, and I'm glad we gave them something to cheer about there in the first inning. That was obviously a huge swing right there. But, they helped provide a lot of energy. But I'm proud of our guys for just staying in the fight, really, because that game was pretty topsy-turvy, ups and downs there from both sides of it. And we had some guys that have been really good for us that weren't great today, but we had some guys pick them up as well. And that's what you got to have to win a tournament like that. You've got to have some guys step up.
Well, can you kind of walk through the process of challenging that first inning and that bang play with Max at first? Were you alerted to that? Was that a hunch? Kind of what went into the challenge?
Well, I just look at the reaction from Max and then from Coach Marcuzzo over there at first base. I thought he beat it out, so I thought the call, reversal was correct right there. Obviously, that ended up being a pretty massive play considering that would have gotten them out of the inning. But, I thought he beat it out. I'm glad the replay saw it that way as well.
Coach, what's your role in terms, obviously it's an up and down 7th inning on both sides. How much of you are you going over to make sure you guys are kind of stable rather than going up and down? How involved are you in terms of
Yeah, I'm just trying to, get them to compete pitch to pitch. I mean, just understanding and realizing that if you try to ride the wave of, chasing what the scoreboard says, then you're going to be, you're going to be sad, and then you're going to be happy, and then you're going to be down, and then you're going to be up. We try to leave that to the people in the stands because they're, we're the ones that can kind of somewhat control what happens in the game. Like I said, I thought our fans were great, but I thought our guys, because they were willing to stay in the fight, and they were just very, very competitive throughout the entire game. When those moments showed up, we were ready for them.
How do you feel like Emmett pitched?
Yeah, I thought he was sharp. Would like to have seen him, get a little bit deeper in that game and not allow that crooked number there. I thought it looked like he was starting to run out of gas at about the 60 pitch mark, and we almost out of that inning right there. He had the left-hander matchup right there, and wasn't able to finish. I thought he was good early, short rest and all that, but for us to go deep in this tournament, we're probably going to have to ask him to come back again.
what kind of player does it take, Dylan Carey, for freshmen to come in and just lock down their base defensively all year? Obviously, come up with a big play game today.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the talent from him. I mean, he's got great feet, great hands. He plays good catch defensively, and he cares an awful lot. I mean, that's a really important piece about being a good defender is just being very selfless because you've got to stay locked in the moment. And there were some moments that maybe could have gotten away from him, based on letting his own performance affect the way he played defense, and he certainly didn't do that. It shows a lot of mental toughness for a young man to step up and make a play like that.
Well, it looked like you had a big sigh of relief as you came out of the dugout when the game was done. What were the emotions in that moment, knowing you guys got out of here with the run win?
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of intensity in that game, and it was back and forth. It was up and down. I mean, we haven't played in a lot of games, honestly, like that where we score a bunch of runs and give up a bunch of runs and come out on the right side of it. So that was a great sign. And Will Walsh picked us up, and he's been hit on the chin a little bit here lately as well. So it was great to see him come in. And we just needed strikes. I mean, we needed strikes at the end of that game, and he provided that for us.
Can you walk through the thought process with managing the bullpen today?
Yeah.
And when you did and didn't go to certain guys?
Yeah, it pretty much played out the way that we thought it would. I mean, we talked about it extensively before the game. It's going to present itself probably in the 5th or 6th inning, who we're going to go to first. Felt like Hawkins was the right move. And he gave us he stabilized the game just like he has so many times for us. And once they got the runner in scoring position, we went with a strikeout guy, with Shea. Unfortunately, Shea didn't have it today, and we had to make a move to the next guy, Cal Perry, who's been nothing but dominant the last couple of times he's taken the ball. He didn't have it today, so at that point in time, it was we need strikes, and so that's what played in. I didn't really have on my baseball bingo card, Will Walsh finishing the game tonight, but that's why you got to have a strong roster full of guys that are ready to go compete.
How do things stack up behind Commissioner tomorrow?
We'll have to take a look at that. We've got still quite a few guys down there that can give us some innings. Jackson Brockett, you've got Christo, Sears, some of those guys. Garza, you got a bunch of guys down there that can throw the ball over the plate. I mean, you see in this ballpark too. Even though there were some balls that flew out of the park, I mean, it's still not easy to rely on the home runs. So strikes are certainly at a premium.
How much stock do you put into what Kaminsky did against Maryland the first time? I know it was kind of a rough outing for him. How much of that do you look at when you're preparing for this?
Not much. I mean, I think different set of circumstances here. He's been really, really good his last 2 outings since then, and he's bounced back, and his stuff's been outstanding. So he just needs to attack the strike zone. They've got a tough lineup. They're going to make you throw the ball over the plate. Jace has done that at a pretty high level. That's all we're going to ask him to do tomorrow is just get ahead, throw strikes, challenge them, and eliminate the crooked numbers.
Do you talk to Shea, or because he's such a veteran, he can handle the situation tomorrow or the next time?
Yeah, I mean, I have a conversation, with probably him and KP, because they care so much. I mean, they really put a lot on their shoulders, and they want it so bad, and sometimes that can paralyze you a little bit. So we just need to remember how good they've been for us this year, and we're going to need them, and their teammates believe in them, and their coaches believe in them, and that'll be the message that I say to those guys.
What do you think of the matchup tomorrow and seeing them for the first time in about a month?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're the conference champions for a reason. They got a really, really deep lineup. They're going to have their pitching back lined up tomorrow against us. They're, very, very well coached. It's going to be a tough matchup, and we know that. But we feel like we've got a good team too, and we're playing well. And so, again, it just really at the end of the day, what it comes down to is, do you get the pitching that you need? Do you get the timely hitting, and do you play defense? You can keep it as simple as that. You got a chance to go win.
Last question? Awesome, thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Next game starts at 7:03.
Damn.